Hi. Greetings from Fisk Memorial United Methodist Church, located at 106 Walnut Street, Natick. Are you looking for a loving and caring community of faith, actively involved in the wider community? We are here to invite you and welcome you to make Fisk your church home. So how many of you watched the Super Bowl last Sunday? Great. So it's very good to see how many football fans here. And I am not a huge sports fan, but I married one. Last Sunday was the longest weekend ever for Kai and me. Angela was discharged from the hospital, exhausted, went to sleep after being fed with the Super Bowl of caring. Kai and I finally had the opportunity to sit down in the front of TV. We both love New England Patriots. So we watched the game and prayed. The last 2 minutes, so everybody knows, it seemed that there was no even a gleam of hope for Patriots. If you were in the room with Kai and me, you would see two numb faces there. Since I am not such a committed, huge fan like Kai, so I still had the courage to watch the game. So it was good, in some way, for me, to be an observer, to watch the game and to watch how Kai reacted to it, and to witness the moment that had struck me so much. Everyone was so focused on their own thing. Players kept their eyes on the ball, and Kai, that man, closed his eyes, concentrating on prayer for Patriots. So everyone know what happened next. Butler caught the ball and became the game changer for Patriots. So what have you learned from this game? I don't know about you, but what the game spoke to me is the very message. Keep your eye on the ball. And keep your eye on what you are doing. So whatever you are doing, for praying for your team or playing for your team, just be focused, be concentrated on what you are doing. And you will see what surprise God may bring to you. So keep your eye on the ball that you are playing, whatever it is. Concentration, the ability to focus. These are things needed of people who play sports. These are things needed of people in everyday life. Also, Jesus set a good example for us in this. The gospel passage before us this morning is a story that Jesus went to Simon's house and healed Simon's mother-in-law. The people flocked to him so that he might heal them. At that moment, Jesus focused on people's needs and healed lots of people. And then, just when he was so popular, he could have spent a lot of time there and built up a mega church. He went off to a deserted place to pray. Jesus was very focused on what he was doing. When people came to him, he focused on their needs. And after he healed people, he went off to a quiet place, concentrating upon prayers and spiritual renewal. Some might think that Jesus would not require prayer because he himself is the Lord. But Jesus gave out spiritual energy all day, every day. So he needed time for himself, for renewal, time alone with the Father, opportunity to recharge his spiritual battery so that he could face the challenges that he encountered every time he entered a new town. As far as we know, there were only 4 of the disciples at this point: Peter, Andrew, James, and John. At that time, the 4 disciples must plan on the growth of the group so eagerly. So when they found Jesus in a deserted place, what did they say to him? Everyone is searching for you. Maybe they really wanted to say, come on, let's go back to the town. Now, you are getting so popular. Let's settle down. Let's build up a mega church here. Let's do something big. What did Jesus do? Did he go back to town? Did he go back to where he was wildly popular? No. Jesus answered, let's go on to the neighboring towns, so that I may proclaim the message there also. For that is what I came out to do. That was his focus. That's what I came out to do. One way to put it is that Jesus had his eye on the ball. He never forgot what he was called. He never forgot what he came out to do. So this is the question for all of us. What is what we come out to do? What is our call that we heard from God? So Jesus was not called to be a local pastor, to stay in one neighborhood. He was called by God to spread the message to the earth, to all people. So he said, I am not satisfied with being popular in one town and build up a mega church here, because that is not what I'm called to do. So he went off to pray and to get his spiritual batteries recharged, and then go to neighboring town to spread the good news. so that all God's people can hear the message. But for us, I have a question for all of us. So what is our call? Our call might be different from Jesus. We are all God's people, but we all have different gifts, and we have different call in our daily life and in our ministry. 2 weeks ago, we had the visioning retreat. And we have discerned our ministry and our focus of the year. We said, because we serve this community of Natick, so what is our call? To go out to this community. So maybe we need to hear what the 4 disciples said to Jesus. That was the call. Those disciples failed. So we serve the neighborhood. So now our role is different from Jesus. Jesus says because he is Son of God, he has different things to do. But how about the disciples? Jesus sent them out, gave them authority to do ministry and to speak boldly to people in places there they were sent to. So we as disciples, we are called to serve the wider community here. And how we do this? Jesus set a perfect example for us. He said, just keep your eye on the ball. Keep focused on what you are doing. And a football player who keeps his eye on the ball is more apt to catch it than one who became a little distracted. Right? Mr. Butler. So everybody can be Mr. Butler in the game. To say, keep so focused. Even sometimes we say, all the churches are shrinking. What can we do? It seems no hope. And we are facing a lot of challenges. We say, what can we do now? We cannot never go back to 1960s when a church is open and then the pews are getting crowded. People are just come to church and fill the sanctuary. We may never go back to those days, but what can we do nowadays to serve people, serve our community, and to remember, even in those games that seems no chance to win, and we say, we still say, if you keep focused on the ball, if you concentrate on what you are doing, whatever you are assigned to do. I remember when we watched that game, Kai or I, either of us, can never be a good player, but we can pray for our team. And those players, they can concentrate on what they are doing. So we have so many different gifts. And that's the beautiful thing, that why we come to church, not just to stay home, pray for our family alone. Because together, we get all beautiful gifts, and we can do things together and make things happen. Sometimes we say, okay, there's very few chances to win. But if we get focused on what God calls us to do, we will see those wonderful surprises will come on the way. So Jesus was keeping his eye on the ball, and he healed people. He prayed to God the Father. He went to neighboring towns to proclaim good news to all people of God. He focused on all things that God, the parent, called him to do. So there is a lesson here for us. We, as Christ's people, have a lot of things we need to be doing. What is that thing we should keep our eyes on? Jesus would say, that is our relationship with one another and with God. Jesus didn't let anything distract him from what he was called to do. And he did all this. He discovered what God has prepared for him. All the blessings and God's presence with him. So he didn't let other opinions of other people keep him from his call. So keep our eyes on the ball. Stay focused. Find time every day to think about what we are doing in our families, in our neighborhood, and in whatever we are doing, and to find the beauty of call, and to find the blessings that God has given us. As a Christian, and as a faith of community. So don't take our eyes off the ball. Like Jesus, may we stay focused on our relationship with one another and with God, and go to our neighborhood, to our community, to boldly proclaim what we received from God the Parent. So act in faith. That is a beautiful thing to do. And to see what blessings and surprise that God has prepared for us. As a community of faith, let's say amen to God. Amen.